Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is December 30th, 2022, and we are in the New Testament, and we're reading from the book of Revelations. We're going to read chapter 21, verse 1, and chapter 22, verse 5 today. Okay, so where are we at in this narration of John? Well, we've seen the triumph of good over evil. Satan has been cast into the fiery pit. His beast is in the fiery pit. His false prophets in the fiery pit, and his counterfeit city Babylon, all in the pit. All of his believers, everyone who followed him instead of God, off to the fiery pit. So what's left? Well, now God is going to remake all of creation to be more like what he wanted to be originally, with no sin. We see this new Jerusalem coming down. Jerusalem represents that perfect city of believers that believe in God, love each other, trying not to sin. Only now there is no sin because it's all been thrown in the fiery pit. So we finally come, like I said, to where we started in the Garden of Eden. So we see the end of God's plan. We took a little detour because of us, but He always had it planned that we were going to come back to him. We see a lot of symbology in here. I see a lot of 12s in here. 12s is a perfect number. 12 apostles, 12 disciples. You can see 12 times 12, 144. 12 times 1,000, 12,000. Now, an interesting note, I'm reading out of the Good News translation, and it tries to help us out by converting the cubits to feet. So it actually gets rid of all those 12s to give us meaning of what it actually would represent as feet, which would be something I would understand. But that's not really the point. So this is kind of a part where a translation is trying to help you, but sometimes it does more damage than good. So that's why it's always good to look at a couple of different places. So when I get to the numbers, they're not going to be 12s. That's why. It tries to help us by putting it in a feet. Last thing is, apparently somewhere in about the day 280 or so, I miscounted, so we're going to increment that to 364th day today. All right, we only got one more day to go after this. So let's go ahead and we're going to read Revelation chapter 21, verse 1 to 22:5. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. The first heaven and the first earth disappeared, and the sea vanished. And I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared and ready, like a bride dressed to meet her husband. I heard a loud voice speaking from the throne. Now God's home is with mankind. He will live with them, and they shall be his people. God himself will be with them, and he will be their God. He will wipe away all tears from their eyes. There will be no more earth, no more grief or crying or pain. The old things have disappeared. Then the one who sits on the throne said, "And now I will make all things new." He also said to me, "Write this, because these words are true and can be trusted." And he said, "It is done. I am the first and the last, the beginning and the end. To anyone who is thirsty, I will give the right to drink from the spring of the water of life without paying for it. Whoever wins the victory will receive this from me. I will be his God, and he will be my son. But cowards, traitors, perverts, murderers, the immoral, these who practice magic, those who worship idols, and all liars, the place for them is the lake burning with the fire and sulfur, which is the second death." One of the seven angels who had the seven bowls full of the seven last plagues came to me and said, "Come, and I will show you the bride, the wife of the Lamb." The Spirit took control of me, and the angel carried me to the top of a very high mountain. He showed me Jerusalem, the holy city, coming down out of heaven from God, and shining with the glory of God. The city shone like a precious stone, like a jasper, clear as crystal. It had a great high wall and 12 gates, and with 12 angels in charge of the gates. On the gates were written the names of the 12 tribes of the people of Israel. There were 3 gates on each side, 3 on the east, 3 on the south, 3 on the north, and 3 on the west. The city's wall was built on 12 foundation stones, on which were written the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. The angels who spoke to me had a gold measuring stick to measure the city, its gates, and its wall. The city was perfectly square, as wide as it was long. The angel measured the city with his measuring stick. It was 1,500 miles long and was as wide and as high as it was long. The angel also measured the wall, and it was 216 feet high, according to the standard unit of measure which he was using. The wall was made of jasper, and the city itself was made of pure gold, as clear as glass. The foundation stones of the city wall were adorned with all kinds of precious stones. The first foundation stone was jasper, the second sapphire, the third agate, the fourth emerald, the fifth onyx, the sixth carnelian, the seventh yellow quartz, and the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th chalcedony, the 11th turquoise, and 12th amethyst. The 12 gates were 12 pearls. Each gate was made from a single pearl. The street of the city was of pure gold, transparent as glass. I did not see a temple in the city, because its temple is the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb. The city has no need of the sun or the moon to shine on it, because the glory of God shines on it, and the Lamb is its lamp. The people of the world will walk by its light, and the kings of the earth will bring their wealth into it. The gates of the city will stand open all day. They will never be closed, because there will be no night there. The greatness and the wealth of the nations will be brought into the city, but nothing that is impure will enter the city, nor anyone who does shameful things or tells lies. Only those whose names are written in the Lamb's book of the living will enter the city. The angel also showed me the river of the water of life, sparkling like crystal, and coming from the throne of God and of the Lamb, and flowing down the middle of the city streets. On each side of the river was the tree of life, which bears fruit 12 times a year, once each month, and its leaves are for the healing of the nations. Nothing that is under God's curse will be found in the city. The throne of God and of the Lamb will be in the city, and his servants will worship him. They will see his face, and his name will be written on their foreheads. There shall be no more night, and they will not need lamps or sunlight, because the Lord God will be their light, and they will rule like kings forever and ever. May God bless the reading of his word, and may God bless you. Bye.